Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
At first, when you first came in, I thought you were Karen who put a fan just listening in, and I was like, oh, I think we have her, but it wasn't. She came in.
crap, you can't see the ocean.
No.
We're right on Fort Bragg on the ocean. You can't see the ocean. It's all hazed out. It's a beautiful view.
Okay.
And I choose to be with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
There you go.
Oh,
What is
Not
your
Anderson,
wife? What does your wife think of that? It's her birthday.
but she's on the beach.
She's tomorrow.
Her birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Gotcha.
Fort Bragg.
Oh wow.
We come up here every year for our birthdays. Her birthday is the 5th of March and mine's the 20th. So we're all right at the same time. So we come up here to celebrate and get away from our families. Except this time we brought the kids because it's her 60th.
Oh,
All right.
cool.
We got the kids
Anderson, you
and
ready?
grandkids.
Oh wow.
Yeah, go
Karen,
ahead, Chris.
you're
I'm
right.
ready.
You're right after Anderson, and then I'm right after you, and
Then
then
me.
we'll do a plug. Has your new season started yet, or are you still taking time with your new season?
We actually started. We've published 2 episodes already. We
Okay.
took a long break.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. So ready? 5, 4, 3. Noise in the background.
Who's that?
I don't know. 2.
Welcome to We Could Be Wrong, but who cares? With your host Anderson and
Super Harris.
No, it's not me. It's Karen. I'm after Karen.
Karen second.
Karen's a new one.
Oh, me,
Karen,
Karen.
you're second. After Anderson.
One and only Christopher Harris.
Sean.
Renee.
Sun Tzu
And Mike.
and Mike.
Hello, everyone. So, we have a special guest today. Another podcast that's rocking all across the nation. Not your typical Karen. That's our host or one of our guest panelists today. She has a podcast called Not Your Typical Karen. Karen, it could be heard in Apple, Spotify, everywhere else. She's come and graced us with her presence today to give us her opinions. Again, I stepped down last week. I mentioned that. So I'm one of the normal people. And I'm looking like an emo kid with my little fluff out of my beanie, and I'm just going to be normal.
God.
Normal. I was laughing at that too. Normal kid.
So today's moderator is Mike. Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Chris. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about or ask Karen, what's going on with your podcast, Karen? Tell us a bit about it.
So, yes, I'd like to thank you guys first for inviting me to come on your show and allowing me to participate in one of your episodes. Not Your Typical Karen was born just while me and my friend were talking about my desire to start a podcast or like a vlog. And basically our goal is to put out episodes that promote positivity, uplifting episodes that empower our listeners through the telling of our life stories and experiences. So if you have listened to any of our episodes, you will see that a lot of our episodes will come with links to resources, local resources, nationwide resources that correlate to the topic of the day or the week. So in a
Okay.
nutshell, that's, yeah.
And by the way, Karen, are you guys hiring? Because Chris works us to hell, and I'm looking for a new job now. We don't take no vacations. He gets mad at me if I don't come on, and it's really stressful in my life and my personal life as well.
If you're willing to work for free and twice a month, then you're hired.
Bye, Chris.
And we
put
don't
that
do-
thing away.
Yeah, we don't necessarily do positive here, but it's good to hear somebody is, Karen. That's great. Well, we got
Thank
some
you.
cool topics. Got some cool topics today to talk about. A couple things that are going on in our crazy world. Trump gave a speech a couple of days ago and certainly created a reaction with over 31 million responses, views, and a man who was on the top of the wave during the COVID crisis in New York, one of the states that was hit the worst. Governor Andrew Cuomo was the man of the hour, and all of a sudden things aren't looking so good for him. So two topics that are happening, and panel, you ready to make it happen? Let's start with Trump. Okay.
Well, first I want to know, Renee, did you put your Trump stuff back on after that speech or what? Are you back on board, buddy?
No.
He's worshiping the golden god.
Dude, that's
God.
just like, that's
You're being
crazy, man.
resistant this time.
Okay.
No, it just like solidifies how I feel. Like now they're making like, this is totally biblical. Like
The golden god?
lamb. Yeah, the golden
Whoa.
god and the worshiping and all that.
Oh
Just-
gosh, you're talking about
The
the
end- the
extremists.
end-
That's
The
whack.
end is definitely coming.
At CPAC, the extremist, yes.
That's all the
Yeah.
QAnon crap. Anyway.
No, it was at CPAC.
No.
Okay,
What was-
well,
what was that?
Sorry,
I
Mike.
hope- No, that's fine. I hope everybody had a chance to review at least some of the speech. It was lengthy, over an hour and a half. And I think we should start off with just general reactions about the speech.
Do you
I'd
want
like
to
to say
hear
something.
highlights on the speech or no? Because I have highlights ready.
Yeah,
Tom.
let's do it.
Okay, yeah, give a couple to start. Leave the one about the court, leave that one for later, please.
Well, full disclosure, all of his full length speech has been banned from YouTube, so I can't find the full length speech. I was lucky enough to splice together a bunch of bits from other organizations that played like bits. So, I mean,
There's that beautiful
yeah.
cancel culture and censorship again.
No, I'm talking about cancel culture. So Trump, most of his speech is talking about cancel culture. Then he
Mhm.
goes and talks about everyone he wants to cancel.
Yeah.
Who?
Everybody that went against him.
Liz.
they want
Everyone
to
that's
cancel.
not MAGA.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's start. We're going to start with the clips. Go ahead, Chris.
It makes no sense at all.
Well, funny,
We're
when
gonna
he was
start-
all powerful, he didn't cancel anyone.
Okay,
Donald
Now-
J. Trump.
if I have
You missed
to,
me yet. You missed me. I'm going to continue to fight right by your side. We will do what we've done right from the beginning, which is to win. We're not starting new parties. You know, they kept saying, he's going to start a brand new party. We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before. I am not starting a new party. Many people have asked, what is Trumpism? A new term being used more and more. I'm hearing that term more and more. I didn't come up with it. It means low taxes and eliminating job-killing regulations, Trumpism. It means strong borders. It means no riots in the streets. It means law enforcement. It means very strong protection for the Second Amendment and the right to keep and bear arms. It means support for the forgotten men and women who have been taken advantage of for so many years, and they were doing great. And it means a strong military. And of course, we respect our great American flag. You know, when you think about we love you, you're saying that about, I hate to say it. Am I a politician? I don't know. Maybe I'm a politician. I hate to admit it, but that's really, it's an honor that you would say it. We believe in patriotic education and strongly oppose the radical indoctrination of America's youth. It's horrible. We embrace free thought. We stand up to political correctors, and we reject left-wing lunacy, and in particular, we reject cancel culture. This election was rigged, and the Supreme Court and other courts didn't want to do anything about it. Election integrity and election reform immediately.
Hold on,
Republicans
wait, stop.
should be the party of honest elections that can give everyone confidence in the future of our country. Without honest elections, who has confidence? Who has confidence? With your help, we will take back the House. We will win the Senate, and then a Republican president will make a triumphant return to the White House. And I wonder who that will be. I wonder who that will be.
All right, nice clip, Chris, nice clip. That pretty much spelled it out. Okay, yes, your reaction, your feelings, his purpose. Let's let it rip. Sun Tzu, please start us off. And then.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, and then Chris, then Renee, then
I'll go
Sean,
first.
then
I'll go real quick.
Anderson. Okay, Sun Tzu's going to start us off, and then Karen, you're our guest. You'll bring up the rear. Okay.
Okay.
So my initial reaction to that, is that what you're looking for?
Just react to the entire thing. What? Good.
Honestly, I felt inspired and just completely motivated after his speech. I also appreciated Ron DeSantis's speech as well, but there was a handful that I really appreciated. I don't know, he touched on a lot of important topics, and the one that we've all mentioned is cancel culture, which has completely taken over. Now, both sides are experiencing that, and we're starting to see that. He also talked about, immigration, which is also a big topic, especially with what Biden has done with reversing, what he put in place with executive orders. But altogether, I just have to say that I hope to see President Trump on a ticket for 2024. For me, the ideal ticket would be Trump and DeSantis running for president and vice president. So that is what I'm crossing my fingers for.
Okay, to the point. Chris?
He's made this into a TV show again. The fact that he allowed the crowd to scream, "I love you" to him.
What's wrong with that?
We're going to let
I don't
everybody,
know what's
we're
wrong
going to
with
let
that.
everybody have their
Go ahead,
say first,
Christopher.
please.
Sorry, before I was so rudely interrupted. It's quite shocking. I never had someone just really interrupt me before.
I know, because you just always do it. That's why.
I like sincere
It's
Chris.
usually you.
So, I mean, it's again, the fact that he allowed that. And then he talked about Trumpism, but Trumpism is really, patriotic education. Again, he made it about him. And then he said that him and the people were about respecting law enforcement and law and order only as long as the cops aren't in their way, because, I guess it's okay to grab the American flag and bash over other police officers with it because they weren't his way. So there was so many contradictions. And then he talked about, a lot of the, I didn't find him to be totally transphobic, but the fact that he said, we shouldn't have boys, playing sports against biological women. I do agree with that with him. But some of the other things he said really got me confused. So he hit on so many things and so many key words. And he said, us together, we're going to win back the House. Well, it's your fault you lost the House. We're going to win back the Senate. Well, it's your fault that the Republicans lost the Senate. And then he says, and we're hopefully one day we'll come and have another Republican be president. And I wonder who that is. This is not a game, man. Me having conservative idealisms and possibly a Republican, I don't want to hear you play games. Are you going to run or not? What's going to be our platform? And the fact that he said right away, Biden's done everything wrong. What is he talking about? And with the borders, we're still working on that. Relax. And the fact that he's taken away the wall. What wall? You didn't even build that much of the wall to begin with.
According to him, he built 500, or is it 500 miles or something? That's a total lie.
Let everybody talk their due, and then you'll get your shot, guys.
And then for me, I just felt that, he made it about him. The whole CPAC seemed more like a Trumpian love fest than a conservative, ideal platform. And for me, it was kind of embarrassing. It really was. And the fact that he says all the right things, but when he didn't get his way, he was willing to go back on the things he says, such as respecting the law enforcement. So that was my feeling of it. I'm just frustrated that he's back in my life. You know, we went to bed, I feel, with the devil and have a STD called President Trump.
Oh my gosh. Michael, where are the fact checkers when you need them? Because Chris spit out a lot of misinformation right now that I'm not.
They're out there.
About, but...
Okay. Yeah, they're out there. Okay, Renee, take it away.
One thing that really stuck to my head, Chris didn't play the clip, but he did play part of it. He said he didn't want to start another party. Why would he divide the party? It was fake news. The part I heard, he kept saying it was fake news. I didn't watch the CPAC. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch it. I saw clips of it. But when I saw that clip of it, I couldn't believe he said that, because the whole thing about him starting a new party, I heard from him and his son that they may come back and start a new party. So why is he lying and saying it's fake news when I heard it from him and his son? That's just a lie. Like, he, you know, again with the fake news stuff, you know, that's how, you know, he that's his game. You know, it's always fake news, you know, when he doesn't want to accept the fact that him and his son started that rumor that they were going to start a new party, you know. Another thing that really bugged me also was the fact that he talked about cancel culture, but then went on talking about all the people he wanted to cancel. You know, he didn't say cancel, but like all these people that went against him, they're bad, all this stuff. To me, that's cancel culture.
Oh my
as
gosh.
far as the clips I heard right now, I gotta be honest, that's the Trump that I liked, right? That was, you know, the Trump that I voted for. And it kind of did inspire me, all the stuff he was saying. But I'm not gonna fall for that again, because that's what he said the first time, and all he did was divide and you know, cause hate and division in the country.
Preach it.
You know, he didn't do all the stuff he said he was gonna do. He did the opposite. He divided everybody instead of bringing everybody together. He didn't make America great. He made America awful. So yeah, it sounds great because he wants to run for president again. Yeah, it sounds great because he gets everybody hyped up. But the reality is that we already saw what happens when he's president, and I don't like it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well said. Sean, you're up.
Well, the first thing I saw when I watched a large bit of it, was the part that got me to the beginning was when Donald Trump Jr. said, "This isn't the CPAC, it's the TPAC." It's like, really, dude? It shouldn't be about Trump. You know, they had the golden statue of Trump. It's like, this should be about the conservatives. You know, and trust me, I agree with a lot of conservative philosophies. People think me as a radical, but I'm not. I believe in a lot of conservative properties. You know, it's like, I mean, I believe in the Second Amendment right. I own guns. You know, it's like people, you know, it's just, we have to look at each individual thing, in my opinion. With Trump's speech, and I have to concur with Chris on this one, we're the one for the American flag and law and order. As supporters of his, which were not Antifa, which they're trying to play off on, they were QAnon believers, they were Trump supporters, were beating cops with the American flag. You know, it's like, come on, really? You know, I mean, you have to take some responsibility for your supporters. Whether or not you directed them there and made them do it, that's irrelevant. You know, if people support me and I make accusations and do stuff that cause people that respect me to go do it, I need to take responsibility. This is what we call adulthood. You know, and it's like, it doesn't happen. You know, I mean, CPAC was very interesting to me. I didn't find it entertaining because it wasn't really about the conservative party, which is the part that bothered me, which is what it should have been. It should have been about the conservative party, because there's a lot they have going. There's a lot that I think that are important for their voice to be put forward. To me, it was about Trump, and that's not what the conservative party is. You know, it really isn't. I think, you know, Donald Trump does not represent the conservative party, in my opinion, you know, because I do have a lot of conservative values. anyway, that's what I got to say. That's my whole spiel, and I'll end quickly and let someone else go.
Okay.
Well
And Anderson, keep it short, dude. You know, I don't want you rambling on again like you usually do.
said.
Thank you, Mike. I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and take it from there. The best part of the speech are the reactions from the panelists. I love Chris's grin when Renee was talking. And I love the smoke coming out of Sun Tzu's ears because I know she wants to say something.
Mike, I need to go last next time because the way you have 5 different opinions saying so
Right.
much crap that
So
I
what-
gotta be
so-
able to respond to it.
so
now.
what-
I let you go
It's
last
not
at least,
right.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
So while listening
Yeah,
to the
you
speech,
did.
Trump actually kind of lost me when he started bringing up the rig election, and I was just like, oh, not again. It wasn't rigged. We had a fair election. That's all I have to say.
Can I say something on that real quick?
Okay.
Wait a second.
No,
All right, I'll wait.
Mike didn't give him the
Wait a minute.
okay yet.
You lost
Relax,
my
Sun Tzu.
Hold on.
I'll wait.
Hold
I'll
on.
wait. I'll wait
Yeah,
till the
thank
very
you.
end.
Yeah, let's hang on. Let's give Karen a shot. Please,
Go ahead,
Karen,
Karen.
please
Diva, wait a little bit. Jeez.
speak up, Karen.
Okay, so like Sean, or no, wait, who was it who didn't watch the speech?
Me.
That was
I didn't
Renee.
watch.
Renee.
Oh.
Renee.
Okay, so I do apologize, but I didn't watch the speech either. But what I'm gathering from all of you speaking is that maybe some of the lies that were told when he was still in office seems to have been perpetuated again in this speech. And I don't know, I just disagree with a lot of his ideologies, I guess, or the falsehoods that he seems to perpetuate when he speaks. And that's all my opinion on him. I don't spend time listening to him.
Okay, that's fine. And yeah, Sun Tzu, we always have to change the order up because it is tough going first. Totally agree with you on that because we'll come back and we'll give you, we'll reverse the order.
Can I say
you know-
something now?
Yeah, go for it. Real quick, Renee. Yeah.
Okay, so I was listening to a radio host, very conservative radio host, and he's a total Trump lover. But one thing I agreed with him was that he said that he did a poll and he asked other conservatives what they thought about Trump's speech. And they said they loved it, right? But what really turned them off and they decided to shut it off and just forget it, this ain't gonna work, was when Trump started saying the election was stolen again. You know, this radio host put it out there and said, Trump, if I could give you a word of advice, drop it, man. It's not worth it. You're gonna lose conservatives that way. When you start bringing up that whole falsehood of it being stolen again, it's gonna turn the middle of the line conservatives away because they don't want to hear it no more, dude. It's over. You lost. Accept it. Move forward. Stop spreading the lie. It does nothing but hurt you. And I think that really
Take the L.
take the L because
I agree with
Go ahead, Sun Tzu.
Renee. I agree with Renee and whoever that talked. As far as once you do have the L, just move. It's time to move on. Like I get that. To me is true. Like you don't want to dwell on whatever it is that you thought happened or your, whatever allegations were out there. I agree with that. And I think that he will be consulted as such, that he should move on from that, because I agree. That's something that I don't even want to hear anymore. I just want to hear what's going to happen in the future. I don't want to dwell in the past. The other thing too is, Renee brought up that Don Jr. and former President Donald Trump were the ones who brought up the making the other party. I don't know at what point of his presidency that came up, Renee, but
at the end, he would say, well,
he-
maybe we'll start another party, and the crowd cheered
perfect.
and all that.
Okay, and if he did say that, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that was a solidified idea that they were going to move forward to. It was something that they may have brought up. So for you to say that, they're the ones that perpetuated that whole gossip, that whole rumor, I mean, they put it out there, in the universe, but it doesn't mean that that's what they were planning on doing and then decided to go back on it. So say it the way that you did.
No, I think they did decide on it, and somebody got to them and said, "Are you stupid, dude? You're gonna divide the party and you will never win." And I think
Well,
he
'cause he's
smartened up real
done that
quick.
before. He's done that before. Back when he was entertaining running for president, he was planning on running. I can't remember what party he was going to choose, but he was going to do.
He was gonna run Democrat because he said Republican. No, he said if he would run, he would run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid or something like that.
No, I'm talking way back years ago, like 20 years ago, when he first actually entertained running for president.
He was
And
Democrat then.
He was, but he wasn't going to run Democrat. So my point is he was going to run as a different party, and he didn't because he realized that it was a lose-lose situation. So for him to have brought that up again, maybe they thought it was a good idea, but then again, people that they surround themselves with are going to consult them and say, that's not.
That's the problem with him, though, Sun Tzu. The problem with him is that he's a snake oil salesman. He's a man
with ideas. He's a man with ideas. You could see him that way, but I see him as a man with ideas, and that's exactly why he's a successful.
He's constantly going and just marketing ideas and thoughts.
I got ideas.
At least he can articulate it better than Biden can.
Absolutely. Well, hey, look, there we go. We go straight swinging at other people, right?
Well,
Biden's horrible, right?
Right now. Well, and I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Like you asked people to show.
Okay.
Right, take control.
Yeah, I will.
I didn't say he was horrible. I just said he doesn't know how to articulate ideas at
one
all.
last thing I wanted to say.
Chris, let me clarify here real quick.
You need to give Mike mute abilities.
I'm going to clarify. I'm going to move us on to another aspect of this topic. Same topic. Sun Tzu, Renee's point was Trump said it was fake news that they declared that I was the one who came.
It's still true.
But he did. It was he and his son who came up with that idea of potentially running for a third party.
There's a difference of potentially and with actually I'm going to do it. And then, no, you know what, guess what? I'm not going to. There's a difference between that.
Yes, I agree. But what Renee's point is, he then came back and said, see, just more fake news. He said it. He said it originally. And then when he turned around and didn't accept responsibility for it, he said, well, just another example of fake news. Let's move on. I want to move on to.
If the media is saying that he's going to, as if it's a solidified decision, and he's saying, no, I brought it up, but I'm not going to. Yeah,
that's how he fools you. That's how he fools you. He fools you by the media is the enemy. That's how he fools you.
Moving right along. Thank you for your respect. Okay. The thing that he said that I would like you to comment on a little bit, and then we'll move on to our second topic. He said the election was rigged and the Supreme Court did not have the courage to act. They should be ashamed. They should be ashamed.
Cancel culture.
Sean, start us off. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. Am I on? Am I on?
Yep, Sean.
Okay, yes. I'm on. Good. Want to make sure I wasn't muted. The part I find disturbing with that is when we start putting question about our judicial system in general, when we start putting question on anybody that's in power in general, it leads to problems. We need to believe in the Supreme Court is going to do what is right by the Constitution, no matter what. And I think, 3 of them were nominated by him. They were put up by him. And there were still 6 to 9 conservatives. 6 to 3 conservatives. It's like, come on, man. It's like, you have to understand that.
What, Sean? 6 to 3 conservatives in the Supreme Court, or
yes,
in the Supreme Court.
It's 6 to 3. 6 to 3. Six
conservatives,
Republicans, conservatives, and three liberals. So-called liberals.
That's a hard no. No, that's not true.
Wait, okay. Wait, Sun Tzu, what is it?
Well, how would you? Yeah, Sun Tzu, I'd like to clarify that. How would you see it?
Yeah, because you have Kavanaugh, who yes is a conservative. You have Comey? Amy
Barrett Cohen.
She's conservative. Then you have the other one that he did nominate and has been leaning more left than right. And so-
Roberts, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
So whether or not they were in there, they were nominated and put in place as a
Wait.
conservative, that's one thing, but.
And there was
What
no
about-
conservatives before that?
What about the
there
black
was-
guy?
Thomas.
Uh,
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas, he's
Thomas.
total
Clarence.
conservative.
He's
Yeah.
conservative.
What about the black guy?
What about the black guy?
Those are the only
There's
two
more
I know of,
conservatives.
true Conservatives.
There is
But
more
that's the point
conservatives
of-
on the court
Who?
than anybody else.
Who?
But that's
Who
my point
else?
of council
Okay.
culture.
Who
If they
else?
don't bow to Trump's knee, then they're not really conservative.
They're the enemy.
Okay.
The Supreme Court's
Exactly.
enemy.
That's-
Renee,
Let's
Renee?
define cancel culture because they're throwing that term
Well,
Hey, well, hold on, Sansu.
around way
Okay,
too like loose.
I thought it was my turn.
Bullshit.
yeah, let's finish
Sorry.
it up.
Yes.
Let's finish it
Thought
up.
it was my turn.
Okay, hold on a second. Good point, Sensu. It really is. That needs clarification. And we'll get to that right at the end of this. But
Yeah.
Renee, you're up.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't finish yet.
Okay.
He said, wait.
quickly. I thought you did, Sean.
No,
Go
they
ahead.
just
Go.
interrupted me. But the issue is, to me, as far as the U.S. or as far as the politics or anything else considers, there's way more conservatives on the Supreme Court than anybody else, because that's what they're talking about. Oh, Biden's going to make a thing to stack the court because they're not liberals. No, there's
Sean,
more.
name them.
Oh,
Name
God,
them then. If
come
you're
on.
going to say that, name at least one extra one.
Hold on.
Clarence
Hold on.
Thomas, Barrett,
Go ahead, Sansu. You just keep
and
talking.
Kavanaugh.
Whatever
No,
you want.
I want to support you. So name one other conservative.
Sun Tzu,
Supreme
I
Court.
didn't do my research in the Supreme Court because everyone knows this as a fact.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
not a fact.
accepted. It's pretty
It's not a
accepted.
fact. Oh, it's not a
Okay.
fact.
Can name-
They're all
nobody can
freaking
name one
liberals.
more.
Oh
Hold
my
it.
God, you're
One
so
more.
out there.
Sean,
Nobody,
let's
nobody can name one more,
back
huh?
it down. Let's
You got
back it
five
down.
other
Thank
people
you.
and
Thank
nobody
you.
can
Let's
name
back
one
it
other.
You're right. They're all liberals.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
Here we go.
Hey, you guys have no
Here we go. Here we
I
go.
take it back. They're all liberals.
You.
Sun Tzu's right. The Supreme
Name
Court is
one.
known to be
Name
We
liberals.
are
You.
muting. We are
You.
muting.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. You're right. Go ahead. Who's next?
Me.
Because I can't deal with this crap.
Seriously,
Okay,
nobody
so-
can name one other person that is
Hold on.
conservative. See, that's pretty like
Okay,
sad.
Sun Tzu, we got to bring this back around. We got to get some order, guys, or this is not going to come across well. The audience is going to listen to us like a bunch of stepchildren trying
Listen,
to
you
kill
guys,
each other for the
I'm
will.
not going to be a part of a conversation that's going to throw out a lot of misinformation, and that's what you guys are doing.
I
You
could,
guys are in
I
front of
could read
computers.
you
You
who
guys are in
appointed.
front of a computer.
Hold
That
on.
is your
Yeah.
conversation.
You guys look it up. I mean, you
I
guys are
am.
really-
I haven't looked up. It's
Done.
looked up.
Okay.
It's
Done.
looked
Okay,
up.
go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. So here we go. Okay, there's John G. Roberts Jr., who is
not
considered a conservative, and
No,
he
he's
was
not.
put on the court by
But-
George W. Bush. He
But
is.
he's not. No, he's bullshit, dude.
You're saying
How
he's
is he not, Sun Tzu? Get
You're
proof.
the only one
The
saying he's
way-
not.
The
He
way
said he
that
is.
He is judged on things. He has not been conservative. I mean, that has been a no. You guys have even mentioned that in our previous conversations. Now you
He
guys want
voted
to go
against
back
Trump,
on
so it's
that?
not conservative.
Go ahead.
No,
Next
it's
one.
not about
That would be
Trump. But you guys
Okay.
are so infatuated with Trump. It's not about Trump. It's about conservative values.
next
Keep
one.
it on topic.
When
Keep
people
it on
put
topic.
a golden
Okay.
statue of a man, it catches my attention. So yes, I'm guilty of that.
Okay,
Go ahead,
let's
that's
do
one.
this.
Next one.
Let's do this. Yes, Sun Tzu, please let Chris talk about. Traditionally, this is the way we look at it. If a Republican president appoints the nominee, they typically are labeled conservative. If a Democrat nominates, they're typically considered liberal. That's the standard we have been going by. That's known. That's the way it's been. That's
That's
the
fine. That does
Okay,
not mean
okay,
that they actually
okay. No,
vote
no, it
conservatively
doesn't.
or
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
okay.
But they're still labeled as such. And the
Okay,
reason that the
we-
two parties fight, hold on, the reason that the two parties cherish the ability to nominate a justice is to promote conservative values or liberal values. Okay? I want to remind you of something. Think about this, Sun Tzu. Think about this. Think about the board in 1954. The Board of Education voted that separate but equal education for Blacks was no longer valid. Can you imagine the backlash that those justices must have gotten from making that decision? Can you imagine it? They were looking way beyond the color of their skin and why they were put there. Okay? That's what justices in our system are. 9 folks who have been put in that position. They have to make decisions.
The right
Okay.
decision.
Whatever the decision is, whatever
the
it
right.
is.
Wait, hold on. The right decision, regardless of political
Whatever.
party, and regardless
According-
of whether you're conservative or not, you have the judges
accor-
have to make the right decision, and that's what.
Renee's bringing up a great point. Renee's bringing up a great point.
Wait a minute, hold on. According to the Constitution, they
Yep.
are the ultimate interpreters of that
Of the
document.
Constitution. Yep.
That
Sure.
the ultimate. Okay, so
I'm
let's.
not
But because
denying that.
Robert,
Okay,
because Roberts didn't vote with Trump or didn't vote for what
It's
Trump
not about
wanted.
Trump. Stop saying
That-
Trump.
okay,
It's not about Trump. It's about
Okay, so
it's
conservative
not.
values.
Okay,
Get off of
so-
Trump already.
Okay.
no,
Because
so
hey,
But
just
currently-
because it's conservative doesn't mean it's right, though. That's what I'm trying to say. They do whatever the Constitution. They're voting according to the
I'm not
Constitution.
saying right.
So
I'm not
because
saying
it's
right or wrong.
conservative-
You guys want me to finish with the
Yeah.
court justices? Because I would like to
Chris?
move on to Andrew Cuomo
Okay.
eventually.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because no one agrees with you, obviously.
Okay, go ahead, Chris. No,
Next,
let's just
Go ahead.
label. Just
next
label
was
them.
okay. Next was Clarence Thomas, who was
Conservative.
appointed in 1991. Okay.
I agreed
He's
with that.
considered
I agreed with
conserv-
Barrett. I agree with Kavanaugh.
Okay.
Done. Those are
Then-
conservative judges.
Then there's Barr, who was appointed by President Clinton. Would you consider him being liberal or conservative? It was appointed by Clinton. Who would you consider that?
Well, according to your standards, he's left. Are we calling them liberal? Or are we calling them like
It's
I don't know
up to
how
you.
are we
It's
labeling? these
however you
people?
want to accept it. Okay. Then after that, we have Alito, who was nominated by George W. Bush. Then we have Sonia Sotomayor, who was nominated by she was first by Obama. President George H.W. Bush did nominate her to the U.S. District Court, and it was Obama that nominated her to the Supreme Court, which says a lot about President Bush. That's really good. Then there was Elaine Keegan. Okay, she was nominated by President Obama. And then there's Neil Gorsuch, who was nominated by former President Donald J. Trump. Kavanaugh, former President Donald J. Trump. That's 2. And then Barrett, who's also nominated by President Trump.
All
So
liberals.
that's Barrett, Kavanaugh,
Easy, Sean.
Gorsh. Sorry, I don't want to laugh. We have Alito, that's 4. We have Clarence Thomas, that's 5. And then there's that maybe on Roberts. But even then,
So-
it's still 5/4, right?
So wait. So if a president runs as, let's say, a Republican,
Mhm.
but I mean, okay, we have Biden. We have Biden right now. He ran as a conservative Democrat, and he's
Moderate,
pulling
moderate,
way
yeah,
to the
moderate.
right, a
Okay.
moderate, and we're seeing
Sure.
that he's definitely not moderate. If he were to vote and put things in place that were more right side, people would say, "Hey, you actually, you deceived us. You ran as a Democrat, but you're actually putting policies in place that are more right side Republican." So what would that make him? Would that make him still a Democratic candidate, or would it make him more a Republican? See, I'm talking about, it doesn't matter what title they put on the person. I'm going off of the actual actions, the way that they actually vote, being
Well-
in that position. And that's
mean-
what counts. I don't
Hold
care
on,
what
hold
the freaking title.
You mean they
I
vote
did
by the
not hear that.
Constitution?
But let's think about what happened during President Obama's last year in his last nomination, which was, he's being considered for a general attorney now. Help me out, Sean. The guy
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the
his
guy's
name
name.
is, I know because he has me all the
Mary,
time.
Garland Mary, was it?
Garn.
Oh yeah,
Good,
thank
yeah.
you, Karen.
Good
Thank you,
job,
Karen. We
Thank
forgot you were there. Thank you, Karen. You're awesome.
No, I didn't.
Um,
I did not forget she was there.
How did we not
She's
forget?
So-
just polite. She knows if she's
Very
polite,
polite, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I'm not. So there you
That
go.
was
No,
so,
no one
was
said
so
that.
rude.
No one said that.
Chris,
See, that's
that
go
was
ahead.
so rude. That was so rude.
Maybe.
That she's polite?
So, anyways, the
No,
point
he
is,
didn't know she was
he
Oh, yeah.
he was considered a ideal nominated candidate by both sides, but when it came down to it, the Republicans wanted their Republican president to nominate someone
A
to the
justice.
court.
A justice. Yeah.
Justice, okay? And this guy, if you were just to look at their history, his history's right down the middle. You know, and that's why Obama was for sure he was going to get his nominated pass. But no, they hated Obama so much, they did everything in their power to stop him, which they did.
What does that have to do with this conversation?
Because you said that
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to
it
look at
does.
their past
Hold
and,
on.
and,
Does
and
anybody
how they
know what this
voted.
is?
Well, in doing that, they should have put that gentleman in on Obama's last year as president. If you were to look at
Chris.
someone's past, yeah,
Chris, do you see what I'm holding?
a violin.
It's a little
The smallest violin in the world.
So
Yeah.
that's what
My
I'm saying. It
heart
has everything to
bleeds
do
for
with your no one does that. They want their party's president to make the nominations. And that's what it is. So it's and that's one thing that I keep on seeing with this Trumpian society is that what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. They always want it their way. That's my problem with it. That's why.
Both sides. Are you saying that's only one-sided?
No,
No.
but
both sides.
No,
it is both sides. But I'm saying that I keep on hearing Trump and them cry when they were the one that had the House, the Senate, and the presidency and still couldn't do nothing right. They couldn't even get a lot of their things passed. And then they get mad and make all these accusations that were just false.
the whole point is saying that the court is liberal is ridiculous. That's
Okay.
bull.
No.
You know what?
Okay. She was
that-
trying to create a balance there, but not quite
It's a
liberal.
conservative court,
Yeah.
but they went by the Constitution. Oh my God, they go by the Constitution.
Okay.
So what does that mean? What does that mean then? If they're going by the Constitution, are they then voting
go-
left, right? What are you saying
I
by
think
that?
They're going by the
voting their
law.
conscience.
The Constitution is not left or right. That's the issue that you have. The Constitution is not
That's
left or
the
right.
issue
It's
that
American.
You have because
Okay.
you're labeling them conservative. You're labeling them towards the right. So
No,
Okay.
everyone is
They're pro
labeling them that
Constitution, so
way.
what is that?
The problem, everyone's labeling that way.
Okay,
The problem
point
is
of
the court should be American, not
The point
political.
of the question, the point of the original question was, the Supreme Court is supposed to be independent. They are an entire third of our government. Okay, we have the
Then say
legislature.
Say
What-
that, Mike. That's perfect because Sean's statement is because they're court, and it's just like no, because now he's just.
I'm losing you.
saying they're going
I'm
to vote
losing-
for what's best and what aligns with the
We
Constitution.
lose her all the time. Don't worry.
No,
Sean, I'm going through the mountains.
Sean, mind your manners.
Sean, you sound like a child, Sean, when you talk like
Yeah,
that.
mind your
Go ahead.
manners, guys.
I am a
Everybody-
child. It's okay.
Everybody,
You just
Sean,
expose
mind your
yourself
manners.
every time, man.
Mind your manners, everybody. Okay. Okay. Anybody, Karen, have you got anything to add to this peaceful conversation, positive conversation we're going about the fact that President Trump made disparaging, kind of negative remarks about the Supreme Court, that they didn't stand up and do the right thing? Anything? Do you have anything to say?
Well, the only thing that I have to add or contribute to you guys' conversation is that I am proud of the justices. Doesn't matter if they're conservative, liberal, whatever their label may have been going into their positions, because they upheld the law at the end of the day. And that's what I respect about them. They are separate and individual. They should not be biased based on who put them on their position. So I applaud them for upholding the Constitution.
I agree with that.
God, Karen
Amen.
made me feel
Amen.
Mike,
Here, here.
Man,
Yeah.
finally someone that could talk properly.
So I'd like to give my final statement since I'm the only one that's standing up for the right side. And
What's the right side? What do you mean the right side?
Karen,
Hold on.
hold
Hold
on.
on.
Karen
Sun
is
Tzu.
correct that they should uphold the law according to the Constitution. So for Trump or anyone who agrees with him to say that they don't feel like they actually did that, Why can't they have that opinion? Why is it that you guys feel like you're right and they did, but you have other millions of people who feel like they didn't? Like, you have to at least see the other side. You can't sit there and say, oh, because they didn't agree with Trump. No, it's not about not agreeing with Trump. Perhaps people just don't think that they did the right thing.
Because
Perhaps they feel like
you're
I'm gonna-
devaluing the judicial system.
Okay, yeah, let me hand that, just, I want to answer that and then we'll move on. The issue here, Sun Tzu, is they are the ultimate authority. That's it. No more. We have to accept the fact that we need a final authority to make a decision in many, many things, including what is a human being, right? Because that's the decision they made on whether in Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
That was part of the decision they made, is that a human being or is it not a human being? So that's a pretty heavy decision. Those 9 people are the final say. And when you have a president that is saying, nah, it's okay to say I don't agree with it. That's fine. I don't agree with the decision. I don't agree. That happens all the time. We don't always have to agree with the things that happen to our lives. But to say he's disappointed in them and that they didn't do the right thing, see, that's to me where it goes too far, because there's no higher source than those people. And we have to trust, believe, and accept those decisions. That's the way our society is run. Okay, let's move on to another real fun, easy topic to deal with. Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, riding the crest of a popularity, seemingly doing an absolutely fantastic job with the state of New York when it was devastated by the COVID virus. More deaths there. We saw pictures of refrigerated trucks, vans that were stacking the dead bodies, and he seemed to be a pillar of strength and positive, virtue during that time. But since then, things have turned sour, and not only about his treatment of COVID, because people are now saying that he underreported the nursing home deaths. And then the latest scandal, he faces sexual harassment claims from 3 separate women. I don't know. Who wants to start us off?
I'll start it.
Okay, Renee, thanks. Go for it.
Honestly, I think that he should play the Trump card. Trump denied, didn't admit to anything, said it was fake news, and then things just went on. People just accepted it. And I think that's what Cuomo should do. Cuomo should just say it's fake news, it's a lie, I didn't touch those women or whatever, and don't believe your lying eyes, and move forward. It worked for Trump. Why not?
I would like to go next.
Sure, please, Anderson.
I would like to disagree with Renee. Unlike Trump, of course, he lied and denied. Cuomo should resign. What he did was wrong, if he did it, of course. And I think he should resign. I don't play favoritism, just like Trumpers, quote unquote, or any other, or the guy who ran for the Supreme Court.
Kavanaugh, right?
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, so Trump set the bar already, dude.
Yeah, and it sucks. But I still hold higher government, or any man shouldn't be doing that anyway, especially them, because they're held to a higher standard. And unfortunately, someone got away with it, and they shouldn't. Thank you.
Okay. Very succinct.
Karen wanted to
point.
go. She has her hand up, Mike. Karen has her hand up.
Okay, Karen, please go for it.
Okay, so I just wanted to interject shortly because as a woman, and especially when somebody is being accused of sexual harassment, and I don't know if Sun Tzu can, if it resonates with her, she's a woman, she's beautiful, but I kind of disagree with both Anderson and Renee,
I
only
was saying that
because
sarcastically, guys. Come on.
no, I know, I know,
But
but
kind
I
of, yeah.
I'm only saying that I disagree with that sentiment because, like he said, he wants it to play out, and I respect that of somebody who's being accused of sexual harassment. If he did it, I agree with Anderson. You know, he should step down and he should be prosecuted. You know, he should pay the price for committing all the hideous acts that he's done or violating the women that he violated. You know, but at the same time, I think, as with anything else, you know, the accused is not guilty until proven guilty. So I think that they should let it play out and hear the discoveries and finish the investigation. And then at the end of the day, or, you know, towards the end of the investigation, and he's found to be guilty of what he's being accused of with regard to the sexual harassment, then prosecute him, as well as with the reducing the numbers or lying about the numbers of the what was it again? The care
COVID.
home.
The COVID nursing home.
Yes,
Yeah.
the COVID cases in the nursing homes. If he downplayed that when they were number one back in the day in numbers of deaths and cases, he should also be prosecuted. I don't care if he leans Democratic. I think I'm a centrist. I don't really like labels, you guys. I just vote Democratic, depending on the person who's running for office. And also, if they're aligned with my morals and my values and what I stand for and what I believe in, then they get my vote. Otherwise, I don't care who you are, what party you're running with. If you're lying, if you're doing unethical things and you're lying about it, you don't get my vote.
Can I say something real quick?
Real quick.
Okay, real quick. You know, I said that sarcastically, dude. Of course, he should face the consequences for what he did. The reason I say that is because I've been listening to conservative radio, and man, everyone's jumping all over it. You know, this guy's a pig, all this stuff. And it's just the hypocrisy, man. It's oh my God, dude. It's terrible, dude. Like, Trump was facing the same accusations and he just denied it. And, you know, everybody, oh no, you know, he didn't do that. You know, all these conservatives, you know, they had no problem excusing him. But now it's like, oh my God, Cuomo's a pig and he needs to resign, you know, all this stuff. Just the hypocrites are just terrible, man.
Okay.
Crazy.
Totally agree.
Okay, Chris.
I'll be right back.
Chris,
Okay.
explain. Karen said he violated them. Can you give us a little bit more detail about what he did or what he supposedly did?
Well, each case is extremely different. There's one case where he asked his young assistant, who's 25 years old, if she's interested in dating older men, because he was open to dating women in their 20s. My creepo factor meter goes super way up when you say something like that. There's another case where he's at a party and he puts his hand in the small of the back of a different young lady who did not work for him, and then tried to lean in on her. She felt very uncomfortable.
That's the third one. Forward. Yeah.
And then the first one is that during a point, he went and gave her an improper kiss. So he kissed her.
Yeah.
And, you know, the two ladies that did work for him obviously no longer work for him. You know, they did go through the proper channels. They went to HR and then found themselves quickly out of his orbit.
Well, the first one was transferred. She was transferred. And the second woman, I think she worked there for 3 years, I believe. And then she no longer works there. I think that's accurate. Go ahead, Chris.
So now that's pretty much the gist of it. For me, Andrew Cuomo, my vision of this gentleman changed dramatically, because not only was it the sexual harassment claims, but the fact that he threatened a lot of his other, underlings and colleagues. And a lot of Democrats hate this guy because that's what he does. He threatens, it says he will destroy people. And that wasn't the leader that he portrayed himself to be. This guy, to me, sounds like a tyrant, and some of his actions are tyrantly. Tyrant is not a word, or is like a tyrant. And the thing is that for me, I could jump to the conclusion easily. Karen's a better person than me, because to me, the man's guilty. If the man's threatening to destroy you just because you don't agree with him, the man's probably doing weird, creepy things too, because he has that entitlement. He's a creep.
Oh, did it go that far? Are those fairly established claims that he was going to ruin them?
Those are two different things. He told people that worked under him in the city, because one guy contradicted him when it came to the numbers about the senior citizens, and he went on air and told the truth. This guy berated him in front of his family because he was, working from home, and told him if he didn't, take back what he said to the press, he will destroy him. And not only did he say this, but the mayor of New York, Blasio, claimed the same thing. This guy threatens to destroy people. And that sounds like someone that used to be a president that did the same thing, And if you're doing actions like that, I know you're not a good man. I just know you're not. I'm sorry. Call me a judger and say that I'm, I make a lot of assumptions. But to me, that's fact. The proof is in the pudding, period. I stand by that.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah. So my opinion on this, do I think Cuomo's a good guy? No. Do I think walking up to a girl, well, if she works for you, yes, you shouldn't ask any inappropriate questions. But do I think walking up to that girl at the wedding and putting a hand in her back and saying, "Can I kiss you," is illegal? No. Have I done that in a bar back 30, 40? Well, it was my wife. Yeah, 40 years ago? Of course I did.
I hope so.
Yeah, did I? Yes.
Of course it was.
We have to look at what's appropriate and inappropriate.
Wait, is he married?
Huh?
Oh, he's divorced. He's been divorced since 2000.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
he's not married.
Even if he's married, does it make it illegal?
No.
In certain states, probably yes, but asking someone probably doesn't. But the point to me is, what? Does it make him a creep? Hell yes, he's a creep. Does it make it something that he should be like, oh my God, resign? Come on, guys. Let's be serious.
It's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of power.
Well, no, the two of them that worked with him, yes, probably, but he only asked them, "Do you like older guys?"
No, one claimed that he kissed her inappropriately. He didn't
claim. Again, claimed. There's nothing proven yet. But one of them was sitting there and said that she asked him, "Do you like older guys? Do you believe in, out of marriage relationships?" Because the girl was married. Asking her, is it make it awkward? Yes. Should she have sit there and looked at him and gone, "Dude, we're not talking about this"? Because any of you who've been through sexual harassment training, which unluckily I've been through multitudes of it because I belong in medical corporations and it's big,
Oh, I thought it was court mandated. Just kidding.
Well, maybe. But they tell you part of the sexual harassment training is the person that's being harassed has to sit there and go, "This is inappropriate." If they sit there quietly and just suck it up, it's like, it's
you know what, Sean? Let me push back on you. Sorry, I'm not the moderator. Can I ask him a question, Mike?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
let me. No, I stopped myself. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So if one of his male assistants did that to a female, do you think he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, or do you think he's going to fire him? Be honest.
He has to give him the benefit of the doubt from HR. You can't fire the guy. The guy has an HR complaint. If you
what do you think is going to happen to that guy? You think he's going to give him the
you
benefit
have
of the
to give him. Okay. You have to speak to them. If you've gone through.
Second thing, do you think he watched these sexual harassment videos that all New York State employees have to watch?
It doesn't matter whether he watched or not. He had to sign off on them. The question is, did he watch them? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. If he watched him and said he watched them, then he's responsible for it. But looking to some girl and going, "Can I kiss you?" is not sexual harassment.
Okay.
It's not.
Sun Tzu, you out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I muted or not? I don't know.
No, you're okay, Sun Tzu.
No. I thought I muted myself. Well, first of all, there's a difference between peers and being a subordinate. So being in a position of power, they should not approach any subordinate that way. And it is automatically sexual harassment because there's there's a sense of intimidation when someone who has a position of power approaches you that way. It's easy for someone like Sean or anyone that agrees with him to say, well, they just need to say, I'm really uncomfortable. First of all, talk to a woman who maybe that's her only job, or she's been wanting to be in that position forever and she finally has it. And he or she has a man who is her boss, who has a lot of power, and he approaches her that way. More people than not will not say anything. Unfortunately, that is just the reality of our society, which is why a lot of these things go unspoken and never are addressed, because women have to weigh the fact, well, am I going to keep my job, or am I going to potentially put my job at risk if I come forward? Which it sounds like it was detrimental to some of these girls' positions. So it's not that easy. It's not that black and white. With regards to Karen's comment, I agree. If there's anything that I feel like I try to be fair with, is if there are those allegations, let it play out. Let discoveries come to play. Let someone have their due process and their day in court. That's what's fair. And that's with anything, because this is such a big deal, this should not be taken lightly. I don't think that anyone, minimizing this type of situation, like I've heard on this panel today, is right. Because again, you guys are all men, so you can't fully empathize and understand what it would be like
Do you
to be a
feel like
woman.
I minimized anything? Because
I don't think
I
anybody
wanted to
minimized
hang
it
the
at
guy
all.
over here.
Renee kind of did. I know.
Oh,
Renee apologized for that. Renee
He's
came back and said he
sarcastic.
would.
Yeah, he
Right,
came
but
back.
but he actually, there are people who actually represent that, like, right. So what I'm saying is the way that he responded to it is common. And again, which is why women hesitate.
Renee.
Okay,
So,
Anderson.
Sunsu,
Anderson, yeah, go for it. Anderson.
no,
The other thing-
just a quick,
Okay,
go
ahead,
real
Anderson.
quick, Sunsu. I thought when you say you agree with Karen, I thought you were going to agree that you are beautiful. But that's it.
There we go. We have some creepish
Never.
right there. That's got a creep
So
in
she's
it.
like,
Mike,
I do agree
question,
with
Mike.
Karen
Hey,
that I am
that is
beautiful.
creepy, yeah.
Hey, that's creepy, Anderson.
Yeah.
That's what
Question, Mike, when you get a chance.
That's
That's
why
what I
I my
thought.
boy,
Yeah.
man. We can disagree, but we can still be cool. So
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. Anyways, the other thing is this infatuation with Trump. If we can for once go through a conversation without bringing up Trump for everything, because for people who say that, oh, Trumpsters are just all about he's a god and blah, blah, blah. For people who accuse me and anyone else that supports him of that, it sure seems like the other side is the one who's infatuated with him, because I
I'm
don't bring him
infatuated
up.
with Trump.
I
I'll
bring
admit
up-
it. I'm infatuated with him.
You
Love him.
Every single day.
Because
Hey,
that's all you
any,
guys bring up.
anybody that's able to pull off that orange skin, I'm infatuated with.
Well, and the
Hey, you
point is there's the fact that, Renee brought up, well, if Trump can get away with it. Well, first of all, let's compare apples to apples. Trump was not in a position of power as far as in the government. This is his pre-presidential life.
So it makes
He's
it
always
okay.
been powerful.
So
I'm
no
not gonna
power
say
in
it's okay.
business.
I'm not
No,
saying
he's
it's okay.
a powerful
But-
businessman.
Sun Tzu,
But
that
we're
didn't wash
talking,
Sun Tzu.
Mike,
about
Karen
government.
has
We're
a question.
Okay.
Mike,
Okay.
Karen has a question.
Sean, go for it. You asked first.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead, Sean.
can't even finish.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
so I
just-
get to
I'm
finish
just
my
asking, so I'm
thought.
saying-
That's cool.
So
Thanks,
he had
Mike.
no power in business.
Easy,
but the-
Sun Tzu. Easy. Go ahead, Sean.
But the point about it is, in my career in the military, I've seen the reverse effect, where men got accused of something that was consensual and they went to jail for it. I mean, shouldn't we investigate everything thoroughly before we
Didn't I say
convict?
that? I
Which-
said that.
which
I agree with that.
both of the women said that absolutely is
Yeah.
their stand.
Well, and that's exactly what I feel. Investigate everything before you call for his resignation and saying he
Okay.
was wrong.
No, they both of the women on this panel have said clearly that's what they will want to see
Good.
happen.
Okay.
Karen, go for it, please.
Sorry, I just have a quick question for Sansu. And I don't want to stay with this topic, but I am very curious because I have listened to a few of you guys' episodes. So my question is towards you, being a woman. What is it or what is it about Donald Trump that you support as a female? Because for me, and I'll tell you my opinion of him. I feel like he objectifies women, and well, we'll just stop at that because we're in the topic of sexual harassment. So I just want to know your opinion or your reasoning for supporting Trump.
Well, I will say this. What he's done in his past is relevant in that he has made mistakes that I do not agree with. If you know, if I were there or if I somehow knew, like, I would completely be against that. But the person he has become as the president of the United States, and what he has proven to me as far as surrounding himself with women and putting them in positions of power, and seeing the strength and seeing these women who are actually mothers and allowing them to balance their family life with their work life. Those are all things that I support. And I don't see why anyone wouldn't. I know when he became president, there all of a sudden now is that an extended time of maternity leave. Then you have men are now able to take maternity leave. These are all things that support family. And family is the bottom line, is what's broken in our society, which is why we are where we are. And for someone to support that and to facilitate more of a strength at home, which you can call him anything you want, but he's an exceptional father. I mean, I don't know one parent out there that every single child seems responsible, has careers, has an education, has family. Yeah, divorces happen. I'm divorced. I don't think that makes anyone less of a person or a parent than someone who is with their spouse. But I see a lot of the values that I try to exemplify, and I appreciate the fact that he actually is trying to support and facilitate that in our country, because that has been lost. And Obama is a great example of him making that statement in a speech, saying that, within the Black community, that's what's being lost, is there's no fathers, there's no men in the home, which is why the crime rate has gone up, why there's more Black men in prison and in jails, and they're committing more crimes, because there's there's a lack of that male figure at home. So as far as that's probably the bigger part of why I support him, other than the fact that he's pro-life. He's trying to
stay on topic. You're all over the.
She's asking me why I support him, and that
specifically related to his behavior, I suspect, toward women, not necessarily, all the other part.
If you want me to judge someone based off of actions that were done 20 years ago, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, because I know I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. I don't think that it's fair if, say, one of the guys on the panel in 10, 15 years decide to run for office, but they have skeletons in the closet. Do you think that that's fair to throw that in their face when they have grown and become different people? No, I don't think so. And I think that that's exactly what happened with President Trump. Now, people were very quick to condemn him without even finding out or giving him due process. I mean, they were quick to just sit there and blast it all over the media. But at least, with Andrew Cuomo, it sounds like people are trying to be a little more rational. Yeah, there's always those extreme people that are trying to crucify people regardless of the facts, like Chris. But, at the end of the day, he admitted it. He admitted it. He admitted it. It's all he admitted it. He sees things that he feels like support these accusations. I can see why he would say that, because I would say that I see things that way sometimes, but I do try to take a step back and allow people to have their day in court. Andrew Cuomo, we're seeing a lot of things there. His whole arrogance, the way that he behaves, the way that we see him try to intimidate people, surrounding, around him. And those are a lot of things that I think will make it easier to believe these allegations. But at the end of the day, the right thing is you're innocent until proven guilty. And if he is guilty, he absolutely should resign. It bothers me that the Democratic Party propped him up like a poster boy, like the golden child of how a governor, should behave during this
Wow.
pandemic. And it's disgusting to me because he's suffering, that state was suffering so many deaths, and he's writing a book. You know how much energy and time it takes to write a book?
Okay,
Oh, but
Sun Tzu. Let's
Wow.
hop off. Yeah, you're on your you got the book, you got the pulpit going. Let's just
Get off
let's
that
just
horse.
move on. Yeah, let's
real,
move it down.
You have
Real
5
quick,
people
Mike.
against one,
Anybody.
so-
real quick, Mike. I just want to say we could be wrong, and that we have both men and women leaving, having maternity leave. That President Trump did that because we could be wrong, but I don't think that never passed through. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The family
We could be
That's
wrong.
not true.
in
I
the
know
state of
people who have
California.
taken maternity leave. I know people that have. So
The state of California has that. State of California has that, not national.
Not me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not international. Okay, how much time do we have, Chris?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes. Damn, that's long.
Let's
It's enough time
know
for
what?
Anderson to talk.
Anderson,
No.
it's your turn.
Take it, Anderson.
sorry. No,
let's
I already
maybe
got a
we
comment.
can. I liked what you said earlier, Sun Tzu. Maybe we need to talk a little bit about what cancel culture is, because you seem to think that it's being thrown at former President Trump in an inaccurate and unfair way. So what is your version of cancel culture, and why do you think Trump didn't do it when he listed specifically about 14 people and the crowd boo, boo every time he listed somebody? So what's the difference?
To me, cancel culture, my understanding of it is when you actually are canceled out, like you lose your job, you lose your position, whether if you're a journalist, or you have a show, or you're an actress on a movie or on a network, like you literally lose your livelihood, or people
Who are the
harass
guilty
you.
people? Who are the guilty people? The people that are trying to get them to lose their job? Who would be the
Yes,
who
yes.
they're the ones?
The
Okay.
people who are either blasting them all over social
blasting
media so
them.
that people attack them, because you remember.
Okay,
you
they're
guys
the
remember,
cancelers.
They are the cancelers. Yes.
Okay. Anybody have anything to say about that?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what Trump did when he started,
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
calling off
attacking
Liz
people that
Cheney and all these other women and men of the Congress and of the Senate? I mean, that's what he's doing. He's blasting them. And now that he no longer has the social media, if he did, he would put it all up social media again. I mean, the thing is, like I mentioned before, all cancel culture is wrong. I admit that. There are some things I said out of turn on last week's show, especially pertaining to Gina Carano. But there's a difference between cancel culture and a corporation firing you too. And we're getting those two blended and mixed up. But if you hate when people try to get other people fired, maybe we should look at former President Trump, because he's trying to get some Congress people out of their seats and senators out of their seats, especially if they don't follow in line with his plan. And yes,
How is he doing that right now, not being a president? You guys make some statements that are just
he just
unreal.
said he might run for 2024. Do you think he's no longer a force? Because if
How
you
about
think he's
this?
no longer
He
a
was
force,
the
you got to
president. Who
reevaluate.
did he cancel? Who did he
All right,
cancel?
let
when
us
he
all
was the
speak.
president?
Yeah.
Who did he cancel, guys? He's
Let us all
so
speak.
powerful, and he has canceled so many people. Who has he canceled? Who lost their job? Who did he push out of
Well,
office? Who did he do any of that?
let us
to when
all
he was
speak.
president?
Okay,
he's
yeah.
doing
Go ahead,
his
Chris.
best to push out office Liz Cheney and the other 15 Republicans that he's read down the list and pronounced their
Okay.
names appropriately.
Sean, go ahead, please.
No, I do agree. I think cancel culture happens from both sides. It is definitely there. And I'm not going to say it's a one-sided thing. It's a both-sided things, like exactly what Chris says. And I'm not saying it's Trump. I'm not going to claim anything. I'm just saying one side says, oh, this person did this, so we don't like them.
You
When they
ordered
sanctioned the Louisiana senator for voting for impeachment, they sanctioned him. That's cancel culture. When they're trying to get Ted Cruz, for voting to challenge the vote because that was his constitutional right. That's cancel culture. They're trying to screw people over for doing what they don't think is right. Everyone should have the right to their own opinion and should do what they want to do. But both sides do it. They both try to screw each other over because they don't do what they feel is right.
Here.
That's the problem.
Okay,
Here,
that's
here.
a good one. Okay, Karen, anything to say about that? Or Renee, are you still there?
No, Renee's gone.
Okay, Karen, anything about cancel culture you want to comment on?
I don't, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. Anderson?
Yeah.
Nothing about cancel culture. Just want to let everybody know to on Fridays listen to Amateur Pros with their hosts Anderson,
Okay.
Chris, Dorian,
I
Juan,
guess he's
and
telling us
Karan.
to wrap
Did
it
he
up.
just cancel culture the topic?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he just cancel culture at the topic. Okay,
Not a
so
bad
let me
idea.
do that. Ladies and gentlemen, also know Amateur Pros have their own page now, so you could type in Amateur Pros on Apple Podcast, all your other
Spotify,
podcasts,
Anchor.
Anchor, everywhere else. They have their own page. I would highly suggest you listen to them on their own page so they could get their money from their listeners, or at least get sponsors to get them sponsored, because we're doing that now with them. They have gotten to that point. Please also listen to Not Your Typical Karen, which comes on every Wednesday. Is it, Karen? Your show's every Wednesday. Am I right or wrong?
We usually publish an episode every other Mondays now. We're doing it twice a month now instead of weekly.
Okay, so it's bi-weekly on Monday.
Mhm.
Not Your
Yes.
Typical Karen. What a title of a podcast. Not Your Typical Karen. I mean, very powerful. Very, very powerful. I hear from a lot of people it's a great show. And I listen to it myself. I'm a big fan. Also,
Woo, woo. Thank you.
yes, I would like to thank Mike for holding a quasi-strong moderatorship and controlling everyone. I know I was out of line. I'd like to apologize to Sun Tzu for talking over her. I hope Sun Tzu too feels bad for taking jabs and swings at me. I feel very victimized.
No, I'm sorry. I don't understand this.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
I'm trying so hard.
He said,
What
"I feel
happened to Renee
victimized."
though? I
He had
haven't
to
had
go.
the chance to. I didn't get the chance to say, "Hey, what's up, Renee? I finally get to meet you."
Yeah,
He canceled
Karen,
culture the show.
Karen,
He
you
had
have to
supper.
learn. Renee's like the diva. He's like, he comes and goes as he pleases,
Yeah.
and we just
Oh.
bow. We bow to him, and we're
Yeah.
grateful.
He's
when
the
he's on.
He's the diva. Okay.
These are all jokes, people. We don't really feel this way about each other.
Yeah.
Again, what a very powerful show. I know Sun Tzu felt very, very alone on this episode. She wasn't. I was with her on a lot of the things she had to say about Andrew Cuomo, even though she falsely claimed that I made light of it. I was a little bit more gung-ho than she was, but I know Sun Tzu's just frazzled by my obsession with former President Trump. I fully admit I'm obsessed with the man. Fully admit it.
You dream about him. You've told me. I know.
Absolutely.
He loves him.
I hate him so much that I love him. But thank you very much. This was a great show. Thank you, Karen.
It's nice having you, Karen.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you,
fun.
everyone.
Well done. Well
Um,
done.
I know that you were thinking about asking Renee to do one of your episodes. We're trying to get that in the works for you. One last thing, guys, please follow us on Facebook. We Could Be Wrong. Please follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram's growing a lot. Thank you, everyone. We_could_be_wrong. Also check us out on everything and we're going to probably have our own page too, but I don't know. I'm shaky on that. Please, sponsors, continue to email me. For the sponsors that did reach out that I haven't talked to yet, sorry, I'm getting to you as soon as possible. Oh, also be aware, we have new shows coming up too. Thank you, everyone. Sun Tzu, are you going to call us out? Sun Tzu?
Yeah.
He's muted.
Oh, she is. Sun Tzu, can you unmute?
Sorry, I'm like in the drive-through here, guys. Sorry about that.
Okay, do you want to call us
sure.
out? Do you want to? Okay, ready?
All right. Thank you again, all of our wonderful, beautiful listeners that continue to be loyal and listen to us rant and rave. And I'd like to thank Karen for joining us today. You did a great job, and it was nice to have another female for once. So anyways.
Oh, we do
could
have
be
another
wrong.
female next week.
Anderson.
Sorry?
We do have another female, hopefully on next week.
Thank you.
We're trying. We're trying.
Anderson's
Yeah,
coming
so-
out of the closet, I think.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Woo!
Thank you. I'm glad
Anything
you
else,
guys.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
until next week, guys. Until next week. We
Next
love you guys, and we look forward to, chatting with you guys again. We could be
Peace.
wrong, but who cares? And Sensu's always right.
Bullshit.
Wrong.
Ugh.
All right. We stop recording. Well, that was
Good.
fun.
Wow.
Thank you.
So much fun. I love it. You guys are just so amazing. You make me feel so good.
I know all that unfortunate swipes at me. I felt like a real victim there. I was like, wow.
It's our job.
Please, a victim. Give me a
Hey,
break.
Mike, that was
Yeah.
rough, dude. You had
Yeah.
a very shaky
Woo-hoo.
moderator
Man.
status.
Mike,
Yeah.
you did a good job.
No,
Thank
I
you
made,
just
it
Thank
lying
hard for,
to
I
him.
made it hard for you, but you did a good job.
That's okay. Tried to be fair. Tried to be fair. That's all I can, always try to be fair.
It's
You
hard.
weren't totally fair, but you tried.
Bullshit.
Thanks for
One-sided.
having me again,
One-sided.
you guys.
Oh, it was fun. I wish I wish we weren't so back and forth that you could have talked more. Sorry. I was just
Oh, that's
having
okay.
a very bad moment.
No, I mean, I like listening to the different opinions. And I only spoke when I felt, like I had something to contribute.
That's a wise woman there. Wow.
Man, I wish everyone would do that.
Yeah.
I know. Look, you should point the finger back right here like this.
I did write it myself.
Like this.
I didn't mean it.
Oh, hey, please tell your wife happy birthday from all of us.
Will do.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm headed off. Thank you,
Okay.
Santu. You're
See you guys
amazing.
later.
Take care, everybody.
Okay,
Go
good
away.
night.